What's up guys, it's James here at Smoking UK, where we review, we communicate and educate on all things tobacco. Today we've got a cigar brand that we've recently stocked over the last couple of weeks, that is the Trident Military Cigars. This more specifically is the Bren. Now I know this is a great cigar, it's been a long time since I've actually smoked the cigar, so I'm dying to get it cut and I'm dying to get it lit. So let's run the intro, let's dive into this cigar and dive into the history of the company, because I'm telling you now, it's going to blow your mind. Run the intro. So with this cigar today, I think I'm going to go in with a straight cut using the Le Finesse Lame cigar knife. Absolutely amazing piece of equipment, worth every penny for the investment. Perfect cut every single time. The initial light up, the initial flavors coming through. We're getting a lot of leather, oaky and seed notes, a lot of woody flavor profiles coming through there. There's a slight bit of like a nutty aftertone after the smoke has left your mouth, and the tastes are just pondering there on your palate. Now it's coming back to me. Now I remember why I love this cigar so much. The retrohale is just heightening all those woody flavor profiles. It's not really heightening the spice. The spice is kind of just kindling there at the back of the palate. It's kind of saying like, yeah, I'm here, but it's not overpowering everything. Those woody textures and those woody profiles are real dominant out of all the flavor profiles that we're getting. And that retrohale just really heightens it as well. I'm almost getting like a little bit of a burnt caramel as well, while I'm still letting that just linger on the tongue without the smoke in my mouth, which is, I think, is going to be a great indicator that it's going to pair really well with the coffee that I have to the side of me, especially when cigars have those sweet textures, the butterscotches, the caramels, the nutty flavor profiles. I know that is going to pair really well with coffee. And for any of you that have watched a smoking video before, you will all know I've always got a coffee to the left of me, and coffee is my hands down, coffee is my favorite drink to pair with any cigar. So I think it's going to be a really good pairing, and I think we're on our way to a really good smoking session. Absolutely fantastic. It's always good when you catch yourself ashing yourself on your leg on camera. Hey, we're something like 10 or 11 episodes in onto this channel, and it's the first time I've ever worn my ash. Can we have a round of applause, please? Tell you what, can we try and get a little bit of a slow-mo on that as well? Honestly, this is such an all-round great stick. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the specifications and the build on this cigar before we go into the history of the cigar brand itself. So this specific stick that we're smoking today is the Bren, and that is the Robusto. So this is going to be coming in at a 5x50 ring gauge. So a good solid 45 minutes to an hour smoking session you should be able to get out of this cigar. It's classed as medium bodied, and now that I'm getting about 2 centimeters into the actual smoke itself, I can see that, I can taste that, the smoke density, the spice and the flavors on the palate. You're definitely getting that medium bodied sensation of smoking this cigar, which to me is a great indicator. I love medium bodied. I don't like stuff that's too strong. Medium bodied for me always pairs really well with like coffees and bourbons and stuff as well, which is my favorite whiskey to pair with a cigar. Now, the one thing that's really interesting about this cigar is the actual blend itself, and when I tell you this, there's going to be no wondering why we're getting such complex flavors with this smoke. So we have an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, an Indonesian binder, and fillers from Nicaragua. Now that is a real cluster of tobaccos being pulled together to make this smoke, and no wonder we're getting such strong oaky and woody flavors mixed with that spice, especially when we're mixing the Ecuadorian Habano with the Nicaraguan fillers. And Indonesian tobacco is famous for having those nutty and those leathery profiles. Now, I've been a fan of the Trident Military Cigars now for a couple of years, and when I joined smoking back in October, I was actually asked what was your cigar of the year in 2023? And believe it or not, it was this one right here, Trident Military Cigars, the Bren. And I even turned around to my boss and says, look, you even just try it and see what you think. They trusted my judgment, and a couple of months later, we had them in, especially once they found out what this particular brand stands for and what they do. So it is a veteran-owned company, and their commitment goes way beyond just providing good cigars. They actually provide for some amazing charities. They support Scotty's Little Soldiers, which is a charity that helps and raises money for children of fallen soldiers. They also support the Armed Forces Covenant, and they support the SSAFA. So you know that with every purchase of these, a certain percentage is going towards those charities, which I think just makes the idea of owning and purchasing and smoking them just that little bit better. I've got to say, the construction on these cigars are absolutely fantastic. When we're squeezing, we're getting that firmness, but there's a little bit of a leeway and it's bouncing straight back, and that's a really good indicator, because you want the tobaccos nice and compacted in there. You don't want the tobaccos moving around, but at the same time, you don't want it so compact that you're getting plugged issues and construction issues and you're getting really bad draw. The draw is really open, absolutely fantastic, even down by the cherry where it's the most hottest. That squeeze is still bouncing back with a lot of life. We have a lovely flat even burn on that cigar as well, and the head of ash is crystal white. You might not be able to tell with all the nice orange lighting that we've got in here, but the ash is crystal white, and that's a really good indicator into the quality of the soil that the tobacco was grown in. It means that soil was full of nutrients. The head of ash can tell you a lot about where your cigar has been. If you're smoking it, it's really dark, it's really grey, there's not much colour to it. The soil it was grown in probably wasn't the most highest quality. You're going to notice these on the lower budget everyday smokes. If you're smoking a premium cigar and you can see that it's really white, there's loads of little crystals that you can see burn into it, that just proves there was so much nutrients, and the soil that it was grown in was really well looked after before the seed even touched the ground. Oh, now what you might be asking is, where did this particular cigar get its name from? Well, we all know the Army, one, relies on really trained and well-trained men, but it also relies on really well put together equipment. In 1937, the gun named the Bren was introduced, and it was so quickly recognized as being the most useful and most effective in the army, especially with how reliable it was. And a lot of people believe it played such a crucial role during World War II and battles after that as well, especially with this iconic shape. This is definitely a gun you've probably seen before, and naming this cigar the Bren just shows tribute to all the brave soldiers that have fought for us and fought for our freedom, and who gave their lives for God and country. And what a way to honour them. That spice I was getting on the initial light up has kind of taken a step backwards. It's still there, but it's not the strongest it's been during the smoking session. And that's really common, especially with Nicaraguan tobacco, especially when it's being put into the filler. When the roller is putting the leaves together, they'll rip the leaves, they'll strategically place it so you get the same flavors throughout. The point of the tobacco leaf is normally where the real harsh and real bitter flavors come from, and that's always placed at the tip of the cigar. This is why whenever you light up a cigar, sometimes the initial light up is really strong, it's really overpowering, it's really bitter, it's really spicy, and that's because you're at the tip of the tobacco leaf. This is why I always recommend people, whenever they light up a cigar and they say, I'm not sure if I like it, give it 10-15 minutes. Let the cigar burn in. Get past that point on the tobacco leaf and get to where the actual full-on flavors are going to be. Let the cigar settle in. And I think now we've gone past that point, all the flavors are really starting to mellow out. We're still getting those real woody flavors. We're still getting the leather. The nutty notes we were getting has kind of faded away completely now. I'm not really getting that. I'm very much getting the woody notes and the leather. The spice is kind of just there floating at the back of the palate. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm about 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the smoking session now. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the cigar. Join me just before we hit the band. We'll go through if there's been any transitions, if there have been any problems, how the head of ash is lasting, and more importantly, who I'd recommend it to smoke. Stick around, join me in a minute or two, and we'll see how we're getting on. What's up, guys? Welcome back into our review on the Trident Military Cigar, the Bren. And oh my god, those nutty flavors that I said disappeared in the last bit, wow, have they come back with a vengeance. They either heard me slagging them off, or this just really stepped itself up. Absolutely beautiful, loads of nutty flavors. I'm telling you what, this is pairing beautifully with that coffee. I'm getting like a very, like the burnt caramel that we was getting slightly at the beginning on the exhale really ramps itself up with that coffee, and you're getting this very beautiful bitter, savory, sweet combination between the two, almost like a burnt caramel biscuit. It's very weird, but it works, and that's all that we care about. This has been an absolutely beautiful smoke, and the head of ash that we had on this before I tapped it off was absolutely huge. You'll see that in small little snippets that I'm going to be posting throughout over the next week on our social media channel, so make sure you're following us on there so you can see it. But we got a good solid 2.5 inch head of ash on this cigar. It's been absolutely beautiful, and I can fully understand why this was my cigar of the year for 2023. It's rich, it's full of complex flavors. The transitions that you get are insane. It's not like they've slowly blended one into the other. That nutty profile literally just came out of nowhere, and it's just attacking my palate. The spice is completely gone. Those cedary and those oaky flavors we were getting to begin with is kind of taking a step back, and that vanilla and the nutty notes are completely coating the palate now. This is a really good cigar. Honestly, I don't know if there's going to be many people out there that won't get on with this cigar. Whether you're a novice and you've smoked a couple of cigars and you want to step up the game, you want to try something a little bit more fuller bodied, something with a little bit more complex flavors, a little bit more spice, this will be a really good cigar. Or you've been smoking for years and you want to try something that's a little bit more complex, it changes all the time, or you want a perfect afternoon smoke, this is the cigar for you. The only people I would probably say to recommend to stay away from it is it might not be the best first cigar. That initial light up was very bitter, it was very spicy, it was very overpowering, which could put a lot of new cigar smokers off. But I think if you've had a couple, you know what the density of the smoke feels like in your mouth, you know what the tobacco tastes like, you're kind of getting a feel for having the cigar smoke in your mouth and not inhaling, this will be a really good cigar. But if you're first starting out and you're trying to find your first cigar, this might not be the best one for you. But we do have cigar reviews that are for you, so I'll leave some links in the description below for some cigar videos that'd be really good for beginner smokers. But all in all, I think this is a great all-round stick. I think a lot of people are going to love it, whether you like to pair your cigar with whiskey or a bourbon, something along those sweeter lines, you don't drink at all, you like to have a coffee. I think even something like a Dr. Pepper would pair really well with this cigar, and definitely scotch. We're coming up to the band, I'm going to be taking the band off now, so I'm going to sit back, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this cigar. Thank you for coming with me. I'm rediscovering this amazing cigar. It has been months since I've lit it up, and I can't believe I left it so long. Of course, we're trying to grow this YouTube channel. We can't do it without your help. We've already grown it quicker than we thought we would in the short amount of time that we've been on this platform, and some of the reviews we were getting from you guys in the comments are glowing, and it's absolutely amazing to hear. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and enable your notifications so you never miss out on any of our future videos. Any questions about anything tobacco related, it doesn't necessarily have to be cigars, it can be pipes, it can be snuff, it can be anything like that. Get them in the comments and I'll make sure I get them answered in future videos. And like I've said before, and I'm not tooting our own horn, we have some of the best photography in the UK industry at the moment. Go follow us on our socials. We post every single day, multiple times a day, with new products, giveaways, promotions, information, history. You'll learn so much just by following us, and I'll leave those links in the description below as well. Thank you for coming with us. I've been James, and welcome to the new era of smoking. We'll see you in future videos.